over the age of 70. If you are still engaging in these 6 activities, you are truly a remarkable and exceptional individual. Did you know that the activities you continue to engage in after the age of 70 can potentially be indications that you are a special individual who is destined to live a long life? Although it is common to believe that becoming older means slowing down, the reality is that many elderly people who are able to keep certain abilities are not merely surviving, they are thriving. In this video, we are going to discuss 6 significant activities that, if you continue to engage in them after the age of 70, will set you apart in the most astonishing way. These talents are not about climbing mountains or running marathons, rather, they are everyday abilities that demonstrate profound physical resilience, keen cognitive function, emotional strength, and a lifestyle that the majority of people your age and even younger people are unable to keep up with. Stay with me until the very end because each of these 6 signs not only reflects good health, but they also show an attitude, a spirit, and a type of energy that the majority of people lose touch with long before they reach this stage in their lives. In addition, if you recognize even one of these indications in yourself, it has the potential to alter the way you view yourself for the rest of your life. Now, let's get started. In the first place, complete autonomy in day-to-day activities. One of the most obvious signs that you are not merely surviving in your 70s but rather actually thriving is the fact that you are able to do your day-to-day activities without the assistance of others. Give it some thought. You fall into a category that the majority of people tend to underestimate if you are still responsible for preparing your own meals, running your own errands, doing your own shopping, doing your own washing, or even performing basic house repairs. Not only does physical stamina play a role in achieving that level of independence, both mental clarity and executive function, as well as emotional resilience, are reflected in it. You are able to handle several chores, make decisions, and find solutions to issues. And you are doing all of this without the assistance of a caregiver or the need for regular reminders. That is not a typical occurrence. Those are truly remarkable. Currently, the majority of people do not consider these trivial routines to be anything exceptional. When I tell them, "Well, I've always done it this way," they say, "Nevertheless, when we take a step back and take a closer look at the wider picture, it is fascinating." There are a lot of people who, by the time they are in their 70s, 80s, or even 60s, have progressively handed over these tasks to other people. Sometimes it is because of their health, sometimes it is out of fear, and sometimes merely because the world expects them to slow down. Not you, however. Now, allow me to show you a photograph. There is a woman named Ruth who is 78 years old and still walks to the grocery shop every Saturday morning with a card in her hand and a list in her pocket. There is no one she relies on to remind her of anything. Her bills are paid on time. She maintains a tidy home. And she even gives her time at a library in the neighborhood. People have a favorable impression of her presence. One thing that they don't often see is that her independence is a sort of strength that is somewhat understated. It's a result of her consistently turning up for herself over the years. Something really potent can be said about that. The fact that you are still capable, still engaged, and still taking responsibility for your life is communicated to the world without you having to utter a single word. And it has nothing to do with pride. Dishonor is at stake here. It is possible to build a foundation of confidence that radiates when you are able to take care of yourself in both significant and insignificant ways. Those around you do not need to be informed that you are doing well. The way you move, the way you carry yourself, and the way you deal with each day are all indicators that they can notice. This type of independence extends beyond the realm of physicality. A mental condition is what it is. It is a choice to continue being present, to continue being useful, and to continue learning. When people look at older folks with admiration, it is frequently because of this solid self-reliance that they possess. You have not become immobile in time. You are still taking part in life to the fullest extent. This is the truth. By the way, independence at this point in one's life is not something that happens very often. It's not that common. Exactly because of this, it sticks out so much. Given that you are still engaging in this activity, you ought to acknowledge how extraordinary it is. It is true that you have earned your years. Nevertheless, the fact that you continue to show up for yourself each and every day is something that is not merely wonderful of you. Wow, that is just remarkable. Number 2. Engaging in consistent physical activity. Simply being in a group of people who continue to engage in some form of regular physical activity after the age of 70 places you in an extremely exclusive category. The vast majority of people find that they gradually slow down and eventually cease moving altogether. It is not because they are unable to, but rather because they have been convinced that quitting is normal. Movement, on the other hand, is one of the most obvious signifiers of life, energy, and a body that continues to pay attention to the direction that the mind provides it with. Let's get this straight now. Even if some people engage in activities such as running marathons or lifting big weights at the gym, we are not talking about those things. A few miles of walking every day, light stretching or yoga, going to the pool, riding a bike, or even just keeping up with your garden without gasping for air are all examples of activities that can help you maintain a healthy level of physical activity. Despite their apparent insignificance, these artifacts convey a great deal of information. You are making a decision to continue to be involved in life when you decide to relocate. The notion that becoming older is synonymous with deterioration is being challenged by you. You are communicating to your body that we are not yet finished. I would want to make you aware of Harold, who is 82 years old. On a daily basis, he visits the park that is located close to his residence. He is out there with his sneakers laced up and a grin on his face. Regardless of whether it is raining, shining, very cold, or very hot, the people give him a wave. The children greet each other. He does not consider it to be physical activity. According to him, it is simply his time to breathe, to think, and to move around. His legs have remained strong. His heart has remained healthy. And his spirit has remained awake thanks to that one simple act. Those steady steps. It's easy to forget how uncommon something like this actually is. Many people give up on their exercise routines not because they are required to, but rather because no one anticipated that they would continue. On the other hand, if you are someone who continues to stretch, walk, lift light weights, or engage in any other form of exercise that stimulates the circulation of blood, you are engaging in a powerful activity. The circulation, balance, muscular tone, bone density, and mental clarity that you are preserving are all being maintained. Falls, cognitive problems, and chronic pain are all being prevented thanks to your efforts. You are providing yourself with the finest opportunity to achieve freedom, not only within the present moment but also in the years to come. What else do you know about it? Observers take note. Those who respect that calm discipline do so even if they do not express their admiration directly. It is not particularly glamorous, but it is reliable. This is done on purpose. In addition to this, it demonstrates a kind of strength that is deeply ingrained. It is also true that you are doing more than the majority of people know if you continue to choose to move your body. Even if it is only a little bit each day, you have made the decision to continue playing the game. You are opting for robustness rather than capitulation. I would appreciate it if you could use the second comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. Driving with self-assurance and safety is the third priority. You might not give it much thought if you are over the age of 70 and you are still able to drive yourself anywhere you need to go, comfortably, safely, and with self-assurance. However, you should, because the fact that you are able to do it alone distinguishes you from others in a way that you probably do not even recognize. Being a driver involves more than just being in the driver's seat. Coordinated movement, quick reaction time, The ability to make decisions, visual attention, and a strong awareness of your surroundings are all required to complete this multifaceted and difficult endeavor. As a matter of fact, it is one of the few exercises that can be done on a daily basis that simultaneously combines cognitive sharpness and physical function in real time. The fact that you are still doing it and doing it well indicates that you are working with a level of competence that many others your age have already given up on. When they have stopped driving, the majority of people do not make an announcement. It is something that just happens. One possible starting point is to steer clear of highways, followed by driving at night. Then they come to a complete silence. For some people, it's fear. In some cases, pressure from family. The exception, however, is for those individuals who continue to drive with complete assurance, who are still able to park in a confined space, make left turns at a busy crossroads, and traverse new roads without experiencing any anxiety. An indication of skill is not the only thing it is. This signifies that one is free. A man by the name of Bill comes to mind. Despite the fact that he is 79 years old, he continues to drive every Sunday to provide his church group with pastries. He does not rely on GPS and does not require reminders. He makes sure that his vehicle is always clean, that he is always up to date on the most recent rules of the road, and that he exercises his reflexes during his annual checkup. For him, driving is not about the vehicle itself. It is about maintaining his dignity and remaining connected to the outside world on his own terms. Being able to go wherever you want, whenever you want, and without being dependent on anybody else is a source of pride that comes with having the ability to do so. Not being stubborn is not the issue here. The key is to maintain your capability. The ability to drive allows you to respond to your own demands, maintains your social engagement, and provides access to the locations you enjoy visiting the most. Autonomy in action is what it is. Additionally, from a neurological point of view, driving is a benchmark task. It encompasses a wide range of cognitive abilities, including attention span, memory, depth perception, motor reaction, and the ability to solve problems. Every time you get behind the wheel, if you are able to pass that unspoken test, it is a subtle reassurance that you are still sharp. You are still quite powerful. Still, you are not wavering. Still, you shouldn't take it for granted. There are persons who are 20 years younger than you who have already given up driving. This is not because they are unable to drive, rather, they have stopped driving because they no longer feel safe. There is significance to the fact that you are still in control of the situation, both physically and figuratively. If you are still maintaining full awareness while driving, you are a member of a decreasing group of older persons who are able to strike a balance between safety and independence. And those who are close to you are aware of it. They may not express it verbally, but they are aware of the serenity, presence, dependability, and quiet authority that conveys the message that they are still in control. You are the one who does. Fourth, a sharp memory that does not require any reminders. If you are above the age of 70 and you are still able to recall things like birthdays, appointments, to-do lists, or even the specifics of a good conversation without the assistance of sticky notes or an alert on your smartphone, you are doing something that the majority of individuals who are half your age struggle with. The ability to maintain one's sharpness is not an easy task in a society where memory lapses are considered normal and even acknowledged as a natural part of the aging process. Memory is not limited to simply being able to recall names or the location of your keys presently. Whether or not your brain is still functioning properly behind the scenes is the question. It is a function of the executive. This is a recall, the capacity to make connections, to tell tales, to prepare ahead, and to react in the moment are all essential components. You are functioning at a level that the majority of people underrate. And if you still have that, which many of you who are watching this do, then you are doing so. Let's not mince words. When they are in their 60s, a lot of people start making jokes about memory loss. May I please have my glasses? I don't know why I walked into this room. This becomes ingrained in the culture of getting older. A stable memory, on the other hand, is not the result of pure luck. Every aspect of your life, including what you eat, how you sleep, and how engaged your intellect is reflected in it. That you are still remembering the past with great specificity, that you are keeping track of the present, and that you are making plans for the future is not extremely typical. Care, stimulation, and perseverance are the factors that led to this result. Example: Margaret is a good example. In spite of the fact that she lives alone and is 81 years old, she remembers every dental appointment, every grandchild's birthday, and every community event that she goes to. Since she does not require a planner, she does not use one. Both her discussions and her calendar are filled with specifics, and her calendar is located in her thoughts. She is on the lookout. She is swift, and she does not merely remember, she actively participates. This level of mental clarity does not appear out of nowhere the first time. Reading, learning, maintaining a sense of curiosity, and refusing to let life be reduced to a few routines have all contributed to its formation over the course of many years. When people keep their minds busy by doing things like solving puzzles, having discussions, writing, or simply paying attention, their minds tend to remain active for a longer period of time. However, this does not imply that you are completely forgetful of anything. We all did. But the difference lies in the fact that your memory continues to be useful to you whenever you require it. In what ways are you able to tell a humorous story that occurred 10 years ago? How are you able to remember the names of individuals that you have just met? Or how are you able to navigate a discussion without losing your train of thought? This indicates that your working memory, long-term storage, and retrieval systems are still functioning in a coordinated manner from a neurological standpoint. That is extremely uncommon, in spite of the fact that people don't speak it out loud. It is held in extremely high regard because memory isn't only about facts. Having presence is the key. The ability to follow a tale, elaborate on it, or bring in a pertinent information from the past is an indication that you are not simply participating in life. If you are still completely cognitively present in talks, you are not merely participating in life. Every person in your immediate vicinity is benefiting from it. It is the kind of mentality that people seem to draw toward. They are able to feel seen, heard, and remembered as a result, and it demonstrates to them what it is like to age gracefully in the real world. Therefore, if you are still able to navigate life without continual reminders, if you are still able to easily store timeframes, appointments, tales, and details in your memory, you should be aware of what this indicates about you. You have a sharp mind, and you are scarce. I would appreciate it if you could use the 4th comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. The 5th point is a willingness to acquire new abilities or technological knowledge. If, in your 70s or later, you are still interested enough to learn new skills, investigate ideas that are foreign to you, or even experiment with a smartphone, tablet, or computer, you are without a doubt one of the few people who are still curious about these things. Because, if we are honest, the majority of people experience a mental slowdown, not because their brain is unable to continue functioning, but rather because they stop providing it with anything new to process. They develop habits and rituals. At some point, familiarity transforms into comfort, and that comfort eventually transforms into a limitation. Not you. However, you are making a choice to grow if you continue to enroll in classes. Watch videos that explain how to do something. Learn how to interact with your grandchildren through texting, or explore with new applications. The process of learning anything new is one of the most challenging things you can do as you become older because it requires your brain to operate in ways that are novel to it. Be patient, humble, and willing to learn via trial and error. That challenge, on the other hand, is precisely what prevents your neuronal pathways from becoming inactive and lifeless. Performing this mental exercise is analogous to lifting weights. Although it may not always feel easy, it is a great approach to increase strength. Please allow me to tell you about Eleanor. At the age of 76, she resides in a small town, and she only recently enrolled in a digital photography class at the community college in her area. They have no idea what they were doing when it comes to editing software or cameras. She stated that all she wanted was to acquire the skills necessary to take better photographs of her garden. In addition to that, she is currently uploading her own photographs, editing them on a tablet, and even sending them to her email. This was something she never imagined she would do. It is not for the purpose of making somebody impressed. She is doing it since she has not yet expressed her want to explore. Just that is what sets her apart from other people. Because of this, you are also considered to be extraordinary. Whatever the expertise may be, it makes no difference. Experimenting with an online meditation class, learning how to bake bread from scratch, or figuring out how to utilize a health app to track your walking are all examples of things that could fall under this category. Each time you make the decision to participate in something new, you are not only gaining knowledge, you are also sending a message to both yourself and the rest of the world that you have not ceased developing. This level of candor is quite uncommon. This is a weak point. Being brave is required, as a result of the fact that learning after a certain age requires a willingness to experience uncertainty and to fail at something. It is important to remember to ask for assistance, to laugh at your own blunders, and to try again regardless of the outcome. That is not lack of strength. Experience is the only thing that can give one the kind of strength that you describe. I've been through enough to know that I can sort things out. And that's what I mean when I say that I have a calm confidence. What else is there to say? Those in your immediate vicinity are aware of it. Whether it's your children, your neighbors, or someone you meet at the community center, they notice that spark, that willingness to keep your mind open, and that willingness to keep your world expanding. In addition, they honor it. In point of fact, studies have demonstrated that elderly citizens who actively learn new skills, particularly those that involve memory, coordination, or digital technologies, demonstrate dramatically improved brain function over the course of their lives. It slows down the decrease of cognitive abilities. It improves mood, and it assists in the formation of new social connections. Consequently, if you are still exploring and saying, "Let me try that," even when it is outside of your comfort zone, then you should not underestimate how uncommon it is for you to do so. You are maintaining the vitality of your mind, the intrigue of your heart, and the openness of your life. At number 6, ensuring that strong social relationships are maintained. If you are above the age of 70 and you are still actively keeping up with friends, making phone calls, sharing meals, or showing up to gatherings, even tiny ones, you are doing something that is significantly more powerful than the majority of people think. It is not enough to just have company in order to maintain social connections in your latter years. Keeping one's humanity is the key. Due to the fact that our social groups tend to become smaller as we become older, there are changes in health, people relocate, and losses occur. As time goes on, it becomes less difficult to simply remain at home, watch television, and allow the days to pass by in a state of tranquil isolation. If, on the other hand, you continue to pick up the phone, continue to check in on neighbors, continue to laugh with friends over coffee, or continue to sit next to someone at church, then you are choosing life. It is not because of convenience that one would make such an effort. It occurs as a result of dedication. Understanding that connection is just as important to the survival of the heart as food and sleep is the source of this realization. Give me a moment to tell you about Walter. Every Wednesday, he invites a small number of people to his home for lunch. He is 84 years old and lives to himself. Simply soup, sandwiches, and a lot of stories are all that are served. Nothing spectacular. Individuals who show up claim that it is the most memorable event of their week. Then again, Walter claims that it helps him stay young, as a result of the fact that every meal and every laugh that is shared serves as a reminder that he is still a part of something. Having social interactions at this age is not merely a leisure activity. It is of vital importance. Your brain will remain sharp, your mood will remain balanced, and your stress levels will remain low. Your risk of developing depression, cognitive loss, and even some diseases is decreased as a result of this. Despite this, a significant number of elderly people find themselves drifting into solitude, not because they choose to do so but rather because they forget how important connection is. Neither have you, in the event that you are someone who continues to initiate conversations. Continue to make time for others. Continue to listen and laugh. And continue to reach out. You are doing more for your health and happiness than any medicine could ever do. Additionally, it works in both directions. You might not be aware of this, but the simple fact that you are present in the life of another person, whether it be through your phone call, your visit, your kind words, or your presence, could be the very thing that keeps them going. A gift that goes both ways is connection. As you continue to be involved in social activities, you are not only bringing delight to yourself, people are able to take advantage of it. Indeed, that is not typical. That is extremely uncommon. Additionally, it is a reflection of your emotional intelligence and your capacity to have an open heart. Even in a world that frequently closes its doors, you have not become more resolute. You have not withdrew from the situation. Your presence in the arena, your emotional presence, and your willingness to offer your time, your voice, and your warmth have all been maintained. That, my friend, is a wonderful example of the strength that you possess. I would appreciate it if you could use the 6th comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Now, let's proceed with our plans. Lastly, some thoughts. Let's take a moment to stand back and examine the situation from a more holistic perspective. 6 key signals have been discussed, including the ability to be independent in day-to-day life, engaging in regular physical exercise, driving with self-assurance, having a solid memory, being open to learning, and having important social connections. When taken individually, these may appear to be little. Nevertheless, when taken as a whole, they portray a picture of someone who has a truly unique status. As you can see, becoming older is not about the number of candles that are on your cake. This is about the amount of life that is still burning inside of you. And if you are still doing even just 1 or 2 of the things that we discussed today, I hope you will take a time to realize how uncommon it is for you to be doing those things. When you say something like, "Oh, that's just normal," or "I've always done it this way," it is simple to minimize your own capabilities and skills. Not even close to being typical for someone of your age. Exactly what you are doing is not typical. What's more, it's significant and strong, because other people, whether you are aware of it or not, are watching you. This includes family members, friends, neighbors, and even strangers at the grocery store. They observe your gestures, the manner in which you carry yourself, and the method in which you go about your daily life. In addition, for some of them, that turns out to be the kind of gentle encouragement that they were unaware they required. Make sure to take a moment to pause the next time you find yourself thinking, "I'm not doing anything special." One thing to keep in mind is the fact that you are still presenting yourself in its whole. When you do these things with care and consistency, it proves that you are not merely aging, rather, you are aging in a healthy way. As you get older, you are displaying dignity, power, and grace. In addition, this is something that should be celebrated. We appreciate you being here with us today. It would be wonderful if you could get in touch with us. Please leave a comment below and tell us about one item you discovered today and how you intend to put it to use in your life right now. We place a high value on your opinions. So please do not be reluctant to share them with us. Our inspiration and encouragement are greatly increased as a result of reading your remarks. I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it to be informative and enjoyable. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we hope to see you in the future video.